They show you the trophy. They never show you the nights you cried on the bathroom floor. You've seen the highlight reel, but you've never seen the breakdown that came before the breakthrough. This is what success really looks like, and it's rarely beautiful. Ethan Cole was 29 years old when the world believed he had finally made it. He posted a photo on Instagram, standing in front of a modern office building in downtown Austin, Texas, the office his agency had just moved into. Hair neatly styled, suit perfectly tailored. Caption: "Hard work pays off." Within hours, the comments poured in. "Proud of you. You're crushing it. Living the dream." What no one saw was that just 12 hours earlier, Ethan had been sitting alone in his car in the building's parking garage, gripping the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white, fighting back tears. 3 years before that photo, Ethan quit his stable job as a marketing manager at a mid-sized tech company. He had been earning $78,000 a year, with health insurance and a clear promotion path. He walked away from all of it to start his own digital marketing agency, specializing in paid advertising and brand strategy for small local businesses. People called him brave. He said he was excited. The truth, he was terrified. He launched with $42,000 in savings. He calculated carefully. If he lived modestly, he could survive 12 months without income. The first 6 months passed in near silence. 0 clients, 0 revenue. $2,400 in monthly rent. $600 in utilities and living expenses. Savings dropped to $27,000, then $19,000, then $14,000. At night, he scrolled LinkedIn and saw former colleagues getting promoted to senior director, buying houses, posting engagement photos. He compared their stability to his uncertainty. "Maybe I made a mistake," he whispered more times than he could count. During his first year, Ethan drove Uber from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. to cover basic expenses. After gas, he averaged about $1,200 a month. Some nights were worse than others. He would drop off his last passenger at 1:47 a.m. He would sit in the driver's seat and stare at the earnings summary on his phone. $63.40. 6 hours of driving. He would calculate how many nights like that it would take just to survive another month. Then he would drive home, sleep 4 hours, and wake up to an inbox that still had no replies. Sometimes he questioned whether he had quit too early. Once, he even opened a job application page for a marketing position similar to the one he had left. He filled in half the form. He stared at the "Submit" button, then closed the laptop. During the day, he sent cold emails, sometimes 40 a day, offering free ad audits to local gyms, coffee shops, and real estate agents. Most never replied. The few who did often said, "We've decided to go in a different direction." Rejection stopped hurting. It didn't feel sharp anymore. It just made him numb. One evening, a potential client canceled a strategy call for the 3rd time, a contract that could have paid $3,000 per month. Ethan drove home in silence. He walked into his 600-square-foot apartment, dropped his laptop bag on the floor, and sat on the edge of his bed. Something inside him cracked. He wasn't the confident entrepreneur he portrayed online. He wasn't the relentless hustler his friends admired. He felt like a fraud. That night, he didn't post motivation. He didn't update his website. He didn't build funnels. He collapsed. Not quiet tears, but the kind that tightens your chest and steals your breath. "Maybe I'm not built for this," he said out loud. And for the first time, he admitted what he had been avoiding. He wasn't just afraid of failing. He was afraid of being seen as someone who tried and failed. That truth hurt more than any rejection email ever could. He avoided social gatherings that year. Whenever someone asked, "So, how's the business going?" he smiled. "Slow, but good," he would say. It was easier than explaining the truth. He stopped posting progress updates, not because nothing was happening, but because everything felt fragile. He didn't want witnesses if it collapsed. For years, Ethan had been chasing success to prove something, to his risk-averse parents, to friends who seemed ahead, to strangers online who only saw the polished version. He wasn't building a business. He was trying to protect an image, and it was exhausting. The next morning, nothing magical happened. No investor called. No post went viral. But something shifted. Instead of opening Instagram, he opened a blank document and wrote, "If no one was watching, what would I build?" That question changed everything. He stopped trying to look successful. He started solving real problems. Instead of chasing every client, he narrowed his focus to small, local home service companies struggling with inconsistent leads, a market he genuinely understood. He redesigned his offer, a performance-based ad system, $1,000 per month upfront, plus a percentage of the revenue he generated. Within 6 months, he signed 3 clients. The first month, one of them saw a positive return. Ethan refreshed the dashboard. Once, twice, 5 times, just to make sure it was real. For the first time in 2 years, the numbers were moving up instead of down. When the second client renewed their contract, he realized this wasn't luck. It was a system. He documented everything: targeting structure, budget allocation, creative testing frameworks. That documentation later became the training manual for his first hire. Hiring that first team member was more terrifying than quitting his job, because now someone else's income depended on him. But this time, the fear felt different. It wasn't about image, it was about responsibility. By year 2, he was managing $120,000 per month in ad spend. His agency generated $42,000 in monthly revenue, supported by a small remote team of 4. But more importantly, he began showing up honestly online. Not hustle quotes, but stories about canceled contracts, cash flow anxiety, imposter syndrome. Engagement dropped at first. Then something unexpected happened. Private messages arrived. "Thank you for saying this. I thought I was the only one struggling. This made me feel less alone." It wasn't viral, but it was real. And when Ethan finally took that photo in front of the office building, it wasn't about proving anything. It was simply a milestone. He hadn't just built a business. He had rebuilt himself. Success is not about looking busy. It's about building something real, even when it's invisible. If you're chasing something right now, don't focus on appearing successful. Focus on becoming undeniable. If you're building quietly, subscribe to The Seeds of Life, and let's grow one story at a time.